Welcome back. This is Abstract Drawing, and I'm Donna Anderson. So today we're going to work with charcoal. Now, the last time that we had a lesson, we worked with graphite and pencils and different darkness. The H's were the hard ones. H means hard. B means black. So when you get ready to use your pencils, you're going to use the hard ones for a lighter color, the B ones for the softer, darker colors. Now, we're going to use charcoal today. Charcoal looks like this if it's called vine charcoal. And it looks like a little vine, doesn't it? And when they burn little sticks, that's how they make the charcoal. The picture that I did looks like this. And what I did up here is to use a stencil. And I made this stencil with a piece of paper. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And we're going to make a picture. Now, this is not something that you've seen before, is it? But you might have some ideas about it. You might make up a story about it. You might think about how it makes you feel, or if you feel nothing. You might like the dark and light. You might like the shapes. But we're going to do one that will be a little bit different from this one, and I hope that yours will be a whole lot different from mine. So get ready, and I'm going to show you the materials you need, and then we'll get started. Okay, so here's the picture that we're going to do. Well, not exactly this picture, but this is the style we're going to do. And what I want you to think about is just maybe a feeling instead of an actual object. I don't actually know what I was thinking about when I did this. Some of it's softer, some of it's harder. But I want you to take a stiff piece of paper, and we're going to take this stiff piece of paper and just tear it. And when we tear it, we'll have like little places that we can lay down on the paper. So let me show you. I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to get my piece of paper that I'm going to draw on. I have a piece of vine charcoal right here. And I also have a charcoal pencil. Now I've sharpened this charcoal pencil, and this one is a soft charcoal pencil. Can you see where it says soft? Okay. Then I also have a medium and a hard. So here is medium. So you can make sure that you have the one that you want, so that it will look different. I'm not going to sharpen these two because we're just going to use the soft ones today. So I'm going to take my piece of paper that I tore, and do I want that one or that one? I think I want this one. So I'm going to take it and put it over here and lay this down and kind of put it at an angle. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this like a stencil. I'm just going to go across that line. Now, I don't want to move it, because if I move it, then it will smear. You want this line that you tore to show up. So I'm going across it like this. And you notice that it's not really flat against it. Since we're not using something wet, it doesn't really matter. As long as I go up, it will make it go down when, make the stencil go down when we go across. Now I also want to make sure that I blend it or smudge it. And that's the really good thing about charcoal, is that you can rub it and it'll give you a nice soft look. Notice how that's all going in together there. And I can let it go on up to the top of my page if I want. Now, it's not as dark as it was because I'm rubbing it. So I'm using a stencil. You can also use a stencil with silk screen. You can use a stencil if you were going to put something on your walls. Now I think that I really want this edge to be darker though, so I'm going to use the pencil this time and make it a little bit darker and blend it a little. But I can also let it go a little bit lighter as I go up. But I like that dark line right next to it. And I can also go back and draw on this line. I don't have to just do it this way. This is not as soft as the Vine charcoal. Here's the Vine charcoal. But it's exactly the same color. But this is a little bit softer to work with. So I'm going to leave it on here like this. And you're thinking, how is she ever going to get that done if it takes that long? It's all right. Just enjoy doing art. Okay. Now, when you lift this, notice I've held this down the whole time. When you lift this, pick it up all the way. All right, now we have that nice edge. So this time, I'm going to turn it a little different. And I'm not even going to put any charcoal down. I'm just going to rub it. And pick it up. Amazing, isn't it? All right, I'm going to turn this one this way. And I'm going to let it overlap these other pieces. Now, if you don't like this, you could actually use scissors and cut straight edges, designs into it. But I kind of like it torn. All of it's rubbing off, so I'm going to put some more on here. So it'll be a little bit darker. Amazing, isn't it? Now, if you're going to do mountains, you could probably let that be mountains, but that's not what I have in mind. So I'm going to turn this one this way. Now, I could go all the way to the bottom, but I'm not sure I want to do that. So what I'm going to do is rub this one more time. Let that go up here. And there we go. All right. It does kind of look like mountains. But this is an abstract. You're not going to actually see mountains that look like that. All right. Down at the bottom, and I'm going to turn it upside down, because this may not end up being the bottom. But I'm going to use my other piece of paper and see it fit together this way. So I'm going to use my other piece of paper, and this time I'm going to put it that way. No, I'm not. Do I want to put it that way? No, I think I want to put it that way. And I'm going to have it go straight across. And you can see it going in this direction. Okay, now this is beginning to look like a cave or an opening or something maybe coming out of this. And as you rub it, notice that it's going to go right along the edge of what you tore. I kind of like that. All right. Now I'm going to take my pencil, and on this one, I have lines going up and across the pieces that I just did. On this one, I think I'm going to come out from it. And I'm going to turn my pencil so that I kind of have a soft, meandering kind of line. And I think I'll do that again on here. So instead of having the smudged lines, I'm going to have these lines and let them overlap a little bit. I think 3 will be fine. Okay. All right. Maybe I want it to be darker in here, right next to that line. And you know, I could take it and smudge it out this way too. I like the way that sounds. Isn't that kind of cool? Or does it make you crazy? Is it like nails on a blackboard? All right. And if I move faster, it's going to be a different kind of line, kind of a kinetic kind of movement. In fact, I think I have the whole area in there. I'm going to let this come down this way. And use that scribbly line. I like that scribbly line. It's like when your puppy goes, please give me a dog biscuit. Okay, I'm going to go back with my stencil, and I'm going to do some more of this, but I'm going to make it darker, and just in this area. And then use my scribbly line to go up into that. Now let's turn it. I think I like it better that way. And this kind of goes down. It looks like it goes flat, doesn't it? Okay, if you'll think back to the list I gave you, remember I said you were a mark maker if you drew a lot, then there are some other lines that you could put up here. I kind of like that meandering line, but it doesn't seem to go with this part. This part seems to be more finished, and this part seems to not be finished. So I think what I'm going to do is go back and make this line darker, more solid. Not necessarily darker, but harder, a harder line. No, I like this part better. Okay, so I'm going to make this a scribbly line all the way up there. So just because I did that and I didn't like it, I didn't have to erase it. I can just keep drawing on top of it. So now I think I'm going to make just some straight lines here. So notice how it changes when you just do different kinds of lines. This could be in the mountains. You could be on a hike. These could be crevices. But you know, it doesn't have to be anything. It could just be the dark and the light. and you're just looking at what you've made. If you'll squint your eyes so it throws it out of focus, then you can see what's dark and what's light. We might want to put some more medium kind of color in here. So I'm going to smear this a little bit. Yeah, I think that works better. So now if I cover up this part that's not quite finished, that part looks pretty good. All right, so over here, I might take and make some dashed lines. And I can make some more dashed lines. And these could be like little tracks. See, I'm kind of making up a story as I go along. And that might not be the final story. What I'm saying right now might not be at all what it looks like when I finish. But as I go through this, I make those decisions on what I see right at the present, right now. If I come back to it next week, I might want to go in another direction. You never know. So right now, we're going to go all the way up to this line. Right. Now if I cover up that part of it, then this part looks like it's pretty finished, doesn't it? All right, well, I'm going to stop now because I think that you need to make decisions on your picture, and I'm excited to see them. So these are the two that we have. This is the first one I did, and this is the one that you watched me work on. So I want you to take your time and to work on your picture, and then have an adult in your house take a photograph of it and send it in to the Knoxville Museum of Art. There's an address at the end, and I will be excited to see your work. Keep going. Bye. We did charcoal. Charcoal was cool. Let me get my pattern. And when we did charcoal, we used a pattern. We used the pattern and moved it down and rubbed against it to make a background. This is the one I did to begin with. And then this is the one you saw me working on. And I finished it. Now, if I take and rub it a little bit, it's going to come off on my finger and it's going to smear. So what you need to do, there is a certain art product you can use for that. But it's easy to just get hairspray and just make sure you shake it up, or have an adult do it, whichever, and just kind of spritz it a little bit. You don't want to get too close, but you just want to spritz it on there and let it dry, and that way it won't smear. So the next time that you touch it, you won't get it all over you, and it won't mess up your picture. So there's my finished drawing.